Hey YouTube, how's it going? My name is Kevin, also known as Phoenix, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to beat the Murktide Regent decks. Before we get started, I just want to thank you all the viewers for honestly just supporting the channel. All the likes, the views, the subs that I've gotten in the past really helps motivate me to keep making content, so please do consider leaving a like and subbing to the channel. Now that we have that out of the way, let me show you how to beat Murktide Regent. So first off, let's go over the game plan for the Murktide Regent decks. The Murktide Regent decks are a tempo style deck that usually come in the Is It or Jeskai colors. This deck's main win condition rides on the back of creatures such as Murktide Regent, Dragon's Rage Channeler, and of course Ragavan. And of course, with all of its creatures, it also has plenty of removal and counter spells to help protect those creatures. Now, when analyzing this deck, the Dragon's Rage Channeler and the Ragavan are pretty simple enough. Most of the time they will die to a 1 mana removal spell. Through the use of Delve and its ability, Murktide Regent often becomes a 7/7 which will dodge even Unholy Heat and all other 1 mana removal spells. However, the deck is not infallible, so here are some ways that you can best the Murktide. So first and foremost, good clean removal spells are going to be key to beating this deck. Now of course I'm not going to be able to name every single removal spell that can hit Murktide Regent in every single color, but here are some good ones that I recommend. So first up we have Terminate. Now Terminate is one of my favorite removal cards because one, I love Rakdos, but also because it's very efficient. For 2 mana at instant speed, you're able to destroy whatever creature and it cannot be regenerated, which is very efficient, especially against Murktide Regent. Next on the list we have Path to Exile. Now Path to Exile used to be heavily played but has kind of taken a backseat with the printing of cards like Prismatic Ending, but at the end of the day it is a 1 mana removal spell in white that can very effectively deal with very large creatures. Now our next card is like Path to Exile, and that is going to be Solitude. Now Solitude is a great card, it's been heavily played here recently in Modern, but it does have some risks that are involved with it. Again, it's a great card, it will deal with the Murktide Regents, but it does present the problem of being down on card advantage, and also if your opponent's doing some weird shenanigans stuff with cards like Dress Down, then it could end up flopping and not dealing with the Murktide at all. Now the final card that I'm going to mention, and it's been very favored towards white this go around, but it is going to be Supreme Verdict. Now Verdict is really only an option in the control shells that are being played nowadays, and even those are kind of out the door here recently. However, it is worth mentioning because it's a very efficient card against Murktide Regents because it cannot be countered. Another great way to attack the Murktide Regent decks other than efficient removal is going to be simply to attack their graveyards instead. 2 out of the 3 main creatures in this deck, those being Murktide Regents and Dragon's Rage Channeler, all work off of the graveyard, so if you can simply eliminate it, you do slow them down tremendously. Now I could sit here and list off a bunch of cards such as Leyline of the Void and Rest in Peace that would all be very efficient against the graveyard. However, at the end of the day, all decks have access to Soul Guide Lantern. Now if you truly believe that your deck needs something other than Soul Guide Lantern, I implore you to run it. But at the end of the day, Soul Guide Lantern is a great card because it can target your opponent's graveyard while maintaining your own, and on its floor, it just draws you a card. Now my final suggestion is going to be a bit of a combination between the last two, and believe it or not, bounce spells are insanely efficient against the Murktide Regent decks as both graveyard hate and temporary removal. Cards such as Teferi Time Reveler and Brazen Borrower both feel insanely good when you're able to resolve them, return your opponent's Murktide Regent that happens to be an 8/8 to the hand, and they no longer have a graveyard on top of it. Now I do recommend that you actually run some real removal in the deck because you still want to be able to deal with the 2/1 Ragavan, and also it would be very embarrassing to lose to a 1/1 DRC or a 3/3 Murktide Regent, but this strategy is very efficient at slowing down your opponent's clock. And those are my suggestions for how you should beat the Murktide Regent decks. Thank you all so much for watching, and please consider leaving a like and subbing to the channels. Also, don't forget to let me know in the comment section down below what kind of deck guides you would like to see or other MTG related content. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.